friendly?
Sure. Let's start out with our exercises. We're going to take a look at doing our standard push-ups, knuckles. Start out with 10. Do 10 squats. Go from there. Find a good center point. Make sure your wrists are nice and straight. Breathe in. Breathe out on down. Breathe out. Breathe in. Down. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3. 8. 10 squats. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. In. Down. Out. Seven. 10. Two more push-ups.
You're leading. I'm practicing the art of shutting up.
Okay.
You liking that, Jim?
We're gonna work. We're gonna work. All right, so 10 more. Breathing in, breathe out on the way down. Find a comfortable position for your wrists. Make sure that they're lined up. Breathe in, down. Eight. 10. Let's work on our practicing of 6 points. We're going to work on finding levers. I'll relax and you can go first. Looking for different areas where you might find in the 6 points a lever, whether it be a power lever or no. You're also finding where the grips of these certain areas feel the most comfortable and the most pliable. This is developing muscle memory as you're doing it slow, so that during a reaction period you don't have to think about it. Kind of like we were discussing before about driving a 5-speed car. Once you learn, you really don't have to think about the clutch or what gear is needed for what action. Also good for the recipient or the mannequin, which I am at this point, learning to what my limits are. What points where I don't have any more resistance or lose my balance. Also get you used to being touched in certain areas in a fight that you probably are not used to unless you've practiced before. That's why we're using no pads, and we practice with our push-ups with our fists so that you also practice hitting with the same fist in the same direction, same force, so that your body doesn't go into a shock or you're not surprised when attacked when your fist hits something that's normal without a pad on.
Also working on your own structure, your own walls.
Yeah, limiting my bounds,
Don't work.
working on my structure allows me to know where my bounds are, where he's finding my limits, which is also notifying my brain that that's my limit as well, so that I know where I have extensions at certain points, or I have more room to go. Every little inch makes the biggest difference on balance. When you're practicing your 6 points, you're always staying in the same stance that you would have as if you were getting ready to do your squats. Never locking your knees. And always try to keep your back as straight as possible. Then you switch. If it doesn't feel comfortable at first, move your hand slightly within an inch or two just to make sure that it's in a position that's most pliable, most advantageous for what you're trying to do. You'll find that the hips can rotate in probably 4 to 5 different directions depending on which way you're wanting your levers or your structure that you're working on to rotate. Sometimes they would go up, sometimes they go down. Sometimes they're going forward, a lot of times they're opposite reactions. You're never really wanting to go the same direction with both, as you're just putting them in the same position twice. Or recorrecting what they're trying to avoid. As you work the lower part of the body, you're not leaning over and putting yourself into what we refer to as 6th gear. You want to always stay in 1st gear and close to your opponent. If you're too far away, you're going to have to lean over, and then you're in a bad position. You have to stay within an area that's going to be keeping you in control and allowing them to be put into a
Go
position.
back down again.
Now, if you're going down, this is why we practice our squats, you're going to stay with your back in a straight position. And now,
I try and work that.
he has no way to work against what I'm doing. These can be done with hands. These can also be done with your knee. These can also be done with your foot. Can also be done with your own hip.
Well, the hip and all that, it's all levers.
All levers. Okay. We're going to take a look at utilizing those levers from the 6 points that we just practiced into non-resistant 6-point takedowns. So then we'll work towards it after that. First. We'll trade off. Okay. always remember to move your feet. It's something I've been working on a lot lately so I don't grow roots. So if I was to grab my opponent here, and I wasn't going to shift in any direction, I'm going to have to work really hard against him to make him do anything at all, which is generally nothing. All I have to do is shift one foot, and then I can move over, and he has to follow. If I was to move too far, then all he has to do is step, and we're starting over again.
Don't work fast. Don't work fast.
Okay, so now we want to make sure we slow down and we don't work too quickly because the muscle memory won't have a chance to integrate into your system. Slow movements is going to allow us to memorize. The practicing before and warming up tires the muscles, which allows them to memorize even quicker. Okay, so now we're going to work on
Let's do a couple more.
a couple more. Okay.
And up with the thrust backwards. The person loses contact with the ground and his equilibrium. And when you're falling, how does that feel? Like
No control.
no control whatsoever. So that simple jerk up and over. There we go. Oh, what? Are we doing resistance or are we doing?
Okay, oh, we're starting over. Okay, so
Or no, are we keeping the same thing?
we can do something different. Okay, so we're going to apply the same techniques.
Regardless, you were still.
Yeah, I was still in a bad position.
No, you were pushing.
Which way? Down. Yeah. Should have extended more. That one I failed on. And which you need to be able to make sure you get to a point where you're not doing it correctly, otherwise you're not trying hard enough, or you're not looking for to step out of the bounds, out of your comfort zone.
Quick pause. Stop here. Yeah.